right, Abby, so you went out to dinner with Jezebel's most eligible women because if you haven't noticed the cover of Jezebel magazine, that face is going to look very familiar, and that's because it's our very own Abby Murphy.
But what about me?
But Kristen, it's not going to look familiar because they're going to be like, that doesn't look like the girl in our Facebook videos. Who did they AI Abby onto the cover of Jezebel magazine?
But I love that you and the other ladies from the most eligible issue all went out and grabbed a bite together.
It was so fun. Yeah. So speaking of fellow hot people, we went to Gypsy Kitchen down in Buckhead just to have a couple of drinks, some dinner, and then to go out and like take on the town as fellow singletons because, you know, when you're the most eligible, you have to be both hot but also single. And we were all just discussing the Atlanta dating scene because I guess I would consider them my peers in the dating world. Like we all kind of have similar experiences because, you know, we're all kind of doing the same thing. We're all out there well educated. We have our jobs. We put effort into our appearance, except at 6 a.m. on a Monday through Friday morning for me.
No one puts effort. Stop it. No one puts effort in at 6 a.m. unless they have to be on camera, which whatever. We don't care about that. You are gorgeous. And
Thank you.
You are like one of the most beautiful people. So stop saying you AI'd yourself onto the cover because that is what you look like.
I'm just making a joke.
I know. Okay. I was like, after a couple, I was like, do we need to tell Abby she's hot? Do we need to hold a mirror in front of her face?
Trust me, my self-esteem has never. I'm about to be insufferable. I'm entering my hot girl fall.
Well, shut up, you ugly whore. Okay.
So anyway, we go out to dinner and we're just comparing our experiences. And the one thing that just kept coming up was so comforting because I feel like I've been shouting this one complaint from the rooftops for months, years, centuries, if you will. And I wondered if it was just a me problem because, like, of course, I think when you live with yourself constantly, you start to wonder, like, am I attractive? Like, is there a reason this isn't happening for me? But to see other fellow hot people say, you know, guys just don't approach us out in the wild here in Atlanta. That was it made me feel so much more at ease with my dating life because I'm like, oh, this is a universal issue. Like if some of the hottest people in Atlanta, the quote unquote most eligible people in this city are also going out to a bar and wondering why is this man not coming up and saying hi to me, then that must mean there's not something quote unquote wrong with me. There's maybe something wrong with the dating culture. And so we were just kind of discussing that at dinner and saying, okay, well, what can we do? Because it feels a little emasculating is the wrong word because it would emasculate them, but it makes us feel a little bit like a dommy mommy to have to constantly go up to these guys.
Did you say dommy mommy?
Yes. I was like, we feel a little dommy mommy going up at Painted Park being like, hey, my name's Abby and I want to date you. I think you're hot. And it's just getting to the point where it's like, what do we have to do to get these guys to come over and be like, hey, I think you're cute.
So this is like a running complaint, like a running theme with you and the other eligible Atlantans from the other eligible lady Atlantans.
Yes. And I was just like, if they're having problems, then everyone must be having problems. Because if this is the quote unquote upper echelon of women out here dating in the city, then it's clearly a cultural problem with the other gender.
All right. So great. Speak to dudes right now. You got 20 seconds. Like pump them up to make a move.
Okay. It's the bottom of the ninth. We gotta go. Yeah. There are women out there. Our eggs are drying up. Our Botox is wearing off. We have about 3 to 4 years left of looking this hot. Mm-hmm. I put a lot of effort into this full beat, contour on fleek, fake eyelashes. Yeah. Flipped up to the gods. Yeah. Come up to me and say hi. That's it.
All right, so where are we now? Because as I was pulling in, Abby was talking about like dating in Atlanta and how guys weren't approaching her, and I had a thought on it.
Okay, I'm ready to hear your thought.
And maybe Mikey. Hey, Mikey, come in here for a second. Because in these conversations that I have with my son, who's 18 and he's not old enough to date you yet, but
why did you throw yet in there? I'm not dating your son.
Well, at some point he's going to be 30 and you'll be whatever.
Dead.
And then anyway, so I'm wondering, and I'm not exactly sure how to communicate it, but I think with he and his friends, and I'm wondering if this is a generational thing also. So now we're talking about 21, 22, 23-year-olds. I think young men are very confused right now on what the on what their place is, how to approach women without it being disrespectful. And I think they're so nervous about it that I'm wondering if that's what you're feeling when you're out in Atlanta and guys just aren't coming up to you anymore. There's always going to be the one dude or the two dudes that are like sales guys and they're buzzed and they're just playing the numbers. But I'm wondering, based on what Hollis has told me, there's a real fear there of offending. And his role just seems I don't know. He just seems very confused by it for young guys.
That's surprising to me because when I met your son, I was like, this is literally the mayor of Atlanta. Like, this guy can talk to anybody. But to me, I've heard that so many times that I'm just starting to wonder if this is a story guys are telling themselves to make them feel better about the fact that they're honestly just scared of rejection. And I think it's okay to admit that it is nerve-wracking to approach a woman, to put yourself out there in that way and realize, like, I am setting myself up for an ego hit.
And I
think it's deeper than that. And I think that we would need young men on. Like, I've done a lot of like homework on incel culture and I don't think it's a made up story. I think we're in a weird time with social media now where guys also are sort of like not used to actually communicating to people eye to eye also. And I don't think it's a made up thing at all.
No, I just whenever I hear Abby say that it's because we're scared of rejection, I know that this makes people angry, but why can it not be the other way? Why are you guys scared of rejection? Why are you not allowed to come talk to us?
But I do. I am very proficient in approaching men in the wild, which is why I think it's something I hold guys I date to that standard. Because I'm like, if I'm comfortable approaching men, then they should be comfortable approaching me because I hold myself to that same standard. But I think it's also important to recognize like the power dynamic that shifts when a woman approaches a guy. Like, I think guys all day long are like, yeah, I definitely want a girl to approach me. They deep down do not want that because
I've heard you say that before. Yeah. How is that possibly true?
It's not true.
It's the greatest thing ever.
This is sometimes where I feel like this show gets woman-splained.
Really?
Because that's not true.
That can't be true.
Because then it feels like you're not chasing me, and I think deep down guys want to be the pursuer. I think it does flip the dynamic.
I disagree. I think that the lady likes to be chased. I don't think that the guy wants to be the pursuer. I think that that's a necessary thing. But off this whole conversation, I got to say, also, it's hard for me to speak for all men because I'm a weirdo, so it's like kind of different. But
yeah, Mikey Wakefield, spokesperson for all men.
It's very tough to just go up to a lady. It's so like you almost need to have some kind of connection, like a girl's friends, like some kind of in that is outside of just walking up to someone in a bar.
Look at the statistics. I think a lot of guys now, and I do listen to a lot of podcasts that have to do with this, but if you take it from a guy's perspective, here's what we know is that you guys are looking for somebody that's over 6'3". You're looking for somebody that's making six figures. You're looking for this and you're looking for that. But when you look at the statistics on the men that women are looking for that are the prized possessions, they're about 1% of the dating pool. So I think guys immediately right off the bat feel like they don't have a chance. And then when you look at the numbers on like a Hinge or a dating app on how many times a guy has to approach a woman that it actually turns into a date, it's staggeringly low.
All right, so back to what you were originally talking about with, Hollis being concerned about approaching women. And I think this is very nuanced. I think this is very layered. I do not think this is black and white. And I think there are a lot of, there's a lot of sides and there's a lot of sides to this. But one of them being, and I think it can be a little bit of a, not just, I'm going to own it. I'm going to stand on business. I think it can be a cop out because I think ever since the Me Too movement, men have so often fallen back on, well, I don't want to offend anybody and I don't want, and at that point, I want to be like, just don't be a creep. Like it's very common sense and you don't want to be overly pushy. Like it takes some, it takes courage from both parties to approach each other, right? And it takes courage for men to approach a woman. It takes courage from a woman to approach a man. But if a guy is saying, and there are men, hashtag not all men, but there are men who are like, yeah, I don't want her accusing me of XYZ. And it's like, no, just be a decent dude and you're not going to have to worry about that.
I don't think that's a big thing going on at all. I think that's you guys thinking that that's what it is. It's a rejection thing. people can be mean and it will destroy your ego. Then you can't talk to anybody.
That's not me making an assumption because he literally just said men don't know how to approach women without it coming off as creepy or
It
disrespectful.
can come off as creepy, but it's like, I'm not going to get accused of anything.
I guess my question is, why can't you just approach a woman in a way you would approach like somebody you work with in the break room? Like, why can't you just be like, hey, are you having a good night?
Because
open up the conversation.
It's got to be romantic, right?
No, it does not have to be. You don't need to come up with some kind of line and be like, hey,
No, I would never try a line. I've walked up. I can remember one time I walked up to a lady in a bar. She was wearing flip-flops. I stepped on her toes, and that's just terrible.
Oh, I thought that was your line.
That's your line?
That's a way to break the ice.
Do you think maybe, like, I do see some confusion because I've been like, don't approach women, but I mean, like, well, their headphones are in and they're clearly like lifting weights, leave them alone, right? But when it's clearly everyone is out for a social thing, do you think maybe dating apps are the actual culprit because everything takes place online? So it's swipe, swipe, swipe from the menu. And then, yes, like Bert said, you don't know how to have conversations in real life because everything's online.
I think that's what Casey here wants to say also. Hey, Casey, good morning. Thanks for joining the combo
Hey,
here.
good morning, y'all. Love y'all.
Thank
Watched
you.
Or listened to you, all that stuff since I was a teenager,
Thank
and I'm
you.
in my 40s, so I just aged myself, and I'm fine with it.
Okay.
Look, I got 16-year-old girls. As I told them, y'all pray for me, okay? It's terrible out here. We're not surviving. So I think it's a lost art of communication, right, between social media and texting. Like, I was like, Skippy Toilet Riz, Ohio. Like, what? No. Hi, my name's Billy. My name's Sally. How are you? Or even the classic, if you were a booger, I'd pick you first. I mean, anything.
I do think that.
That's all. I think it's just they don't know how to talk to each other.
Yeah, and I do think that's kind of an old school mentality, and I have the same one actually, Casey, but it's so different for this generation than it was ours, and I don't know where that switch happened, but it certainly has.
I'll tell you, the social media thing, I find all that to be nonsense too. I was 10 times worse at trying to communicate over Tinder than I was in real life. In real life, like, I can show I can like have a personality or something. On Tinder, I'm just like a skinny weirdo. So it's like, no, that's worse. I'm better at walking up to women.
Hey, I want to let you know that in real life you're a skinny
Yeah.
girl.
Well, that's a fact.
Okay.
It translates.
Did you approach Tren or did Tren approach you?
I approached her, but it was through a friend. So my friend was dating her friend. I sat down with them, and she was sitting next to me, challenged her to a staring contest. Works like a charm.
Oh, I don't want to be creepy. I don't want to come up the wrong
That
way.
wasn't creepy. It was sweet.
I just
would love
stared.
that.
Yeah, it was good.
That's fun.
If this didn't work out, my first move is staring contest.
Men have no cop out now because clearly asking a woman to do a staring contest didn't come off as creepy.
Why
for
are you
your
mad at
girlfriend.
me for doing a staring contest? It's not anything.
No, I'm not mad at you. I'm just saying you're sitting here being like, we don't want to
Yeah.
be creepy.
You're
we don't
yelling
go
at me.
It's also okay to have a staring contest if the woman knows she's in one.
No, there's a whole strategy around it.
This is like tier one
information.
consent lessons.
Hold on a second, you guys. Hey, Nikki, good morning. Thanks for joining the combo here. Appreciate you.
Good morning. How are y'all today?
Good, thank you.
I just want to comment. I have a son who's almost 19, and I think that a lot of women forget that men get hurt just like women do. They get broken down, they get lied to, and we speak in absolutes about men a lot, but as a mother of a son, I've seen the rejection and I've seen the hurt that women can cause, and then he gets grouped into this all men, and, every guy does this, and I think that that's definitely not true.
Yeah, it's complicated. It really is. And it just is very different from, and young men, I feel a lot of them in talking to Hollis and his friends sort of don't feel a lot of times that they can even talk about their vulnerabilities because, again, they're supposed to be men. They're supposed to be boys. You guys are supposed to be strong. So not necessarily complaining, but establishing their feelings in this area, and the rejection that they're feeling is really causing a big time problem with teen boys.
Can we do a young man panel?
Yeah.
That would actually be so great.
You'd
Yeah.
have to solicit for it, not me.
Yeah. Why? No, I think it would be good to have like a handful of men, 20, 21, 22, 23, and just, and actually listen to them and get their perspectives on, since you said you're the outlier, you're a weirdo man, though I don't find you weird, but
Yes,
That
you
makes
do.
one of you.
We all do. But it's a very endearing.
Why do we even have to solicit? Can't you just ask Hollis and
I
his
was just
friends?
thinking the exact same thing, yeah.
Okay. Well, I was thinking like the ones who are in the bars who are 21 and over.
Yeah.
Well, those are
Sometimes it's 18 and up, Kristen.
That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
But I will say that he and his friends are definitely out there, and I think that they would communicate it really, really well.
Okay.
They're always begging to come on the radio.
The Bert Show.